Orr is an inside linebacker out of Wisconsin. He's the younger brother of Zach Orr, former Ravens linebacker and now assistant coach. Somebody you want to root for as a Ravens fan, I think, in particular. I think he's quite good in zone coverage, and I was a little bit surprised to find that, but he has a real natural aptitude that way. He trusts his reads. He has an understanding of the route combinations and his role in zone. He's not afraid to take a gamble and make a break on the ball. Real intuitive in zone coverage, I think. I think you could pretty safely call him the best blitzing linebacker in the class, at least that I've seen. Has the most natural aptitude that way, really has a feel for getting in and out of different lanes as they open up. He takes on running backs or offensive linemen in the backfield, goes through them, goes around them, has a real aptitude, let's say, for taking on those blocks, beating those blocks in the backfield. He has a lot of work to do as a run defender. We get into that. It just doesn't, it's odd that those two areas we mentioned before, he seems to really trust his instincts and really have a knack and a feel for, but in the run, as a run defender, it seems like he's still figuring it out. And I'm just basing this off of 2 games, so it's you have to take that for what it's worth. Upon my viewing just those 2 games, it wouldn't surprise me to see the Ravens draft Chris in the late rounds. Certainly in the 7th if he's there. They might take him in the 6th if they're able to kind of procure a 6th round pick. But he's somebody they would want, I think, for special teams and to see if they could coach him up in the run game. I was surprised to see how comfortable he is in zone coverage, how smart he is at reading the routes and reading the quarterback. And you see that time and time again. He's also willing to take a chance to try to get his hands on the football. Watch him reading the number 2 receiver here. Also, what I really want us to see is the quarterback. His eyes are to that receiver. This is his number 1 read. Chris is going to wall inside, but he's going to take him to the flat. As soon as he sees that Chris is in a pattern match man coverage here, he turns off. Watch it again. Watch Chris recognize this quick out here. Just reading the quarterback, recognizing the route, and cut underneath that tight end. It does not come up with a football. But watch how quickly he recognizes this route, well before the tight end is at the top of his route and making his break. He's breaking on the football. Look how far out in front of the ball he is and how quickly he made up his mind to get out there. Should have caught that, though. I'm starting to see a guy who has a real feel for how to play zone coverage. And he also has a sense of when to turn it into a pattern matching man coverage. Right here, he is responsible. If this guy cuts this in any sort of in-breaking route that gets behind him, he's got to get under that. So what you're seeing is him trusting his instincts, and you're seeing him real adept at reading the quarterback. As soon as this quarterback plants his back foot, he is off, man. He is off, and he's going to get under this route, get his hands on it. And this is not an accident. His continually getting in throwing lanes and getting his hands on the pass and making quarterbacks go off their first read because he's there in coverage. This is something he has an knack for. Again, we see Chris take away what I think is a first read here. I think Michigan State was probably hoping to catch them in a blitz. You see the quarterback off the ball, kind of looking to the side. I believe that's to look Chris off. And they really want this tight end who leaks and sits. But before this quarterback even turns his eyes to that side, you see Chris recognize the route, recognize the sit. And you see that quarterback pull the ball down as he turns his eyes that way and have to get rid of the football. Somebody gets burned on this play, and I believe it's Chris. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure he's supposed to carry that number 2 vertical. But I kind of like what this shows us. He's thinking about that quick hit before they even snap it. And right there, he's probably pretty sure this guy's coming to get him. He gets under it and he breaks uh, toward that. And he might be right. This might be a case where the tight end and the quarterback are just reading each other there. In other words, he may have read that play exactly, but the quarterback just caught him. And I like what this shows us about Chris. I like that he's instinctive. I like that he's not afraid in coverage to trust his instincts. Let's look at him taking on blocks, and you'll see that this is an area that he is a bit raw at. I'm reminded it's his first year starting, but this is an area he needs to work on. I'd like to see him come downhill right away, get into this lineman before he gets into him. The other thing is he has this odd take on. If you watch, he sort of hops. He's trying to roll his hips and get under. First off, he doesn't win the leverage battle initially. And so when he tries to roll his hips, you can see him actually kind of hop, get up on his tiptoes there. I don't believe that's not the lineman doing that. That's him trying to roll through, move the blocker. And you can see he can't get off there. And again, that's kind of odd. We see that in a couple other plays where he actually gets off the ground. Again, we see the center come to get him, and this odd take on where you actually see him kind of hop here and get off the ground. And what he's trying to do, and this is encouraging because it's something he's working on, he's trying to get underneath this guy, actually roll his hips through and get off. You can also see too, he is trying to get on the outside shoulder a little bit here. But he's got, I think the problem is his base here. You really want to see not this flat-footed, even base, but his left foot or his inside foot forward and him attacking the outside shoulder with his inside shoulder. So his left foot forward in this case, left shoulder attacking that half, the outside half, if you will, of the lineman. I believe that's what he's trying to do as he reads this. But you can see that's probably what he's being coached to do, because he's not getting any extension there with his arm. He's probably being coached to take on with his shoulder. And first thing is he's not the low man there. Yeah, that odd. Yeah, that's him sort of learning how to take on blocks. You can see he does get off that block one way or another and sort of find the football. We see him stop his feet, get pretty badly juked here. I think he oversets inside where he ought to be trusting the backside linebacker here and playing outside here, or more particularly shooting downhill and take a shot at the back. Don't stop your feet in the hole. He does a nice job reading this read option in the backfield. This might be a called gap exchange between he and the outside linebacker, but he does a good job getting around this block and gets enough of the ball carrier to bring him down in the backfield. This is saying something, but I think he's probably as natural a blitzer as any inside linebacker in this class. He has a real knack for finding just open lanes, even taking on blocks, things that he doesn't do particularly well in the run game. He really does a good job taking on backs, beating blocks, kind of slipping blocks, and making sacks. He had 11.5 sacks. We talked about him having an aptitude in zone coverage. I think you could say the same. This is a guard he takes on in the backfield and just runs right through him to get to the quarterback. These are not layups. These are not accidents. He's quite good at getting after the quarterback from the inside linebacker position.